What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. In this training, we are going to cover how to put on your first 5 to 10 pounds of muscle. So we're really talking about how to capitalize on the newbie gains. I remember when I first started lifting, I had absolutely no freaking clue what I was doing. I was getting ripped off a pre-workout, going to the gym with no plan, expecting just because I just showed up to the gym that I would be making progress and results. I was actually wasting a lot of my time and energy. So this video will just cover advice that I wish I could have told my younger self. If you were a gym beginner, if you were somebody who's just starting to work out, this video is for you. It goes through the 3-step process that I tell my clients that are just starting out within the gym on how to capitalize on their newbie gains and how to put on their first 5 to 10 pounds of muscle in the most efficient and effective way possible. Newbie gains only happens once, and if I could do it all over again, I would really do it in such a different way. I would follow this 3-step process and really just capitalize on the amount of momentum and just amount of potential that you have within your first couple of years of lifting. So without further ado, sit back and relax. Hope you guys find this video training helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe for more trainings like this, and we'll catch you guys inside the training. What is going on, guys? Welcome to the training on how to capitalize on your newbie gains. So this is obviously for any gym beginners, anyone who is just getting into the gym, just starting to work out, starting to build that momentum and the consistency. But maybe you're being a little impatient. Maybe you are frustrated because you're not seeing, all the progress and results quite yet. But in this training, I'm going to explain to you exactly how to capitalize on your newbie gains, meaning the newbie gains are the muscle gains and progress that you see within the first few months of lifting that pretty much set the tone for your entire fitness career, right? This is everything I wish I would have told myself way back when I started working out. The tips and the tricks that I would have loved to know and how to utilize my time starting in the gym and how to really capitalize on the newbie gains, because again, this is where you can see an immense amount of progress and results in such a short amount of time, and it really sets the stage for the foundation of your fitness career within your physique and how you're feeling and how you're performing. So a little backstory. Obviously, I'm explaining this to you because I went through this phase. This is all stuff that I wish I would have known, and wish I would have applied, because I would have made so much more progress and I would have been so much bigger and so much stronger, right? What I was doing and what I see a majority of new beginners in the gym doing are these type of things, right? So copying workouts off of Instagram and copying workouts and exercises from dudes that you see at the gym. Really have no intention or structure with your plans, right? You're kind of just walking there, you're hyped off some pre-workout, you got the music going, and you're just happy to be there, right? You're gonna hit some bench press, you're gonna hit some incline dumbbell press, you're gonna hit some lat pull down, right? And so you're really just following, whatever exercises you think is cool, whatever you see at the gym, and you're just happy to be there, right? At this point in time too, when I just started working out, I knew nothing about form or intensity. So the photo on the bottom is hilarious to me, because this is my first time ever deadlifting 405, and I'm surprised I didn't snap my shit, because look at that atrocious form, bro. Like in the basketball shorts, just completely, yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. So I knew nothing about form, nothing about intensity, no structure or plan, and this is exactly where I started off. This is exactly how my workout and my fitness career started. So where I went wrong, reflecting on how I would have capitalized on the newbie gains, right? So, and these are again all things that I see gym beginners go through and where you could fix it. Copying workouts does not mean you're going to get the same results. So if you see some jacked dude in the gym, if you even see some super ripped, shredded guy on Instagram doing some ab circuit or doing some crazy exercise, that does not mean, just because you're doing the same exact thing, it does not mean that you're going to look like them. It does not mean that you're going to get the same gains, right? Lifting heavy and being in the gym will get you some results, but there is way more effective and efficient way to do things. Being there and showing up will get you so far, like literally moving around and activating your muscles will get you some results, but showing up to the gym isn't enough, right? Showing up to the gym does not mean that you're going to automatically be jacked and be shredded. And just because you're going to the gym working out doesn't mean you're going to have all these big muscles and see an immense amount of progress and results. Another thing too is supplements are not the answer to getting jacked. So when I started lifting, I thought supplements were the shit. I was like, what pre-work am I going to take? What supplements or what protein powder am I going to buy? What is this creatine thing that everyone's talking about that I need to have a loading phase and all this and that? And I was more so worried about what supplements I was taking rather than the bare bones foundational things you should be worrying about, which is your training intensity, form, and also your nutrition, right? So supplements are not going to magically make you jacked. The three-step process to getting jacked is exactly as follows. So this is the three-step process I would follow to capitalize on your newbie gains, to making sure that you're getting the most out of your workouts at the beginning stages. Number one is structure and tracking, right? Consistent schedule within your workouts. This does not mean you have to go every day. You need to find something that you can be consistent with, whether that's 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week max. But you do not have to be going every single day, right? When I started working out, I was like, I'm going to hit push pull legs, go 6 days a week and just be absolutely ripped, when all I was doing was just frying my central nervous system, really just over fatiguing my entire body and just shooting myself in the foot when it came to my recovery. You need to be tracking your progressive overload. So your muscles respond to structure, your muscles respond to metric tracking, your muscles respond to consistency, right? You need to be tracking and making sure that you are increasing the intensity, increasing the workload as you go throughout your workouts, and not just willy-nilly showing up to the gym being like, oh, I'm going to hit some bench press, I'm going to hit some incline and lat pull down and whatever. You have to be tracking like your exercises. You have to be tracking the weights, tracking your sets. How much volume are you doing? How much weight are you doing? And making sure that you are being metrically obsessive about it, because this is going to be the most beneficial point for you within tracking your progressive overload. Being able to understand the numbers, understand where your weak points are, being able to understand where your strong points are. But being able to have data on that is super, super important, because you cannot improve what you don't track. And the last point here is manipulating your workouts based upon your body's response. So again, being able to identify your strong and weak points, but being able to change up your workout split, change up your exercises based upon how you're feeling, how you're performing, and how you are progressing on a personal level. The second step is to really just keep it simple, right? Especially in today's age of social media, there is so much information on exercise and form and just fitness as a whole. It's so overwhelming, right? There's just so many different things out there that may work or may not work. And the most important thing I can tell you is to research and to really dive into, YouTube, and to dive into Instagram, and find things that interest you. Apply those interests and figure out what works for you. Do you like the bodybuilder approach, the pre-exhaustion, the high rep, go until you're crying type of workout structure? Or do you like the powerlifting? Do you like the compound lifts? Do you like the heavier stuff? Figure out what exercises you're doing, right? So figure out what excites you about the gym, specifically within your exercise selection, within your splits and your structure, and apply it to you, and see how your body responds to it, right? Compound exercises plus strength equals results. So I know that I have a biased viewpoint because I love powerlifting, and my lifting approach is very power building. It's very much half powerlifting, half bodybuilding. But as a gym beginner, you're going to get the most results simply by chasing strength. I think that if you just try to get strong as fuck, and you just try to get as strong as possible, you're going to see results. You're going to see gains, and you're going to get huge. You don't need to be worrying about isolating these little, what is the most optimal exercise for your rear delts? It's more so like, can you bent over row a heavy amount of weight? Can you deadlift a heavy amount of weight? Can you squat? Can you bench a heavy weight with good form, obviously? And can you get strong? And this will yield, an immense amount of results and progress for you simply from being strong. And then again, kind of noting, you don't need to be doing any crazy exercises, right? You see all of these crazy variations of, cable side delt lateral raises and rear delts, and the best, most optimal exercise for your hamstrings or whatever. And it's like, do the exercises that again interest you, but also stick to the basics on the ones that have been around forever and the ones that are not as flashy. So again, stick to your compounds, your squat, your bench, your deadlift, your lat pull down, your shoulder press, your row. Think about exercises that take a lot of the multi-jointed exercises that take a lot of energy out of you, that take a lot of concentration to get strong at. And you don't need to be doing these multi-cable variation angle exercises. Keep it simple and do what works for you. The last point to capitalizing on your newbie gains is nutrition, fueling for success. So when you're just starting out in the gym, nutrition usually comes second to your workouts. That's just kind of how I've seen it and exactly what I went through. I really didn't lock in my nutrition until a few years after I started lifting. I understood the concepts of calories and macros and protein, but I didn't really apply it or take action on it, right? When you are just starting out, it can be super overwhelming to dive into the world of nutrition, especially with today's age of social media and all the fear-mongering information about red dye 40 and aspartame and not eating seed oils and everything else. It's like, it can be so overwhelming, and it can be really really hard to sift through, what works for you and what doesn't. So when you're just starting out, you don't necessarily have to track macros, but always remember that protein is king, right? Protein is the fuel source for muscles. It's going to help you build and fuel your workouts. And it's really the foundation of what's going to go into capitalizing on the progress and results that you're seeing from the gym. Again, noting supplements don't really matter. Supplements are always, you have to remember that supplements are there to supplement something that you can get from whole food sources. So when we're talking about protein powder specifically, think about how your body would feel running off of 50 grams of protein from chicken, steak, beef, whatever, whole food, versus 50 grams of protein from a protein powder, right? Numerically, yeah, it may be equal, but substantially and physiologically, it's going to have a bigger impact on your body if you're eating whole food sources where your body can break it down, where the digestion is a little bit slower. And when your body responds, your body's going to respond better to whole food sources rather than supplements. You can obviously still use supplements and protein powder, but you always want to prioritize whole food sources. And just remember, protein is king. That is the simplest kind of structure I can give you. Again, if you want to start tracking, there's plenty of videos. I even made a video on this channel explaining, how to track your macros using MyFitnessPal. ChatGPT is the thing. There's numerous amount of resources out there to understand how to track macros and calories. And again, programming out what your macros should be, that's another conversation. But remember, protein is king. You should be aiming to get anywhere from 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight, and just start there. Start tracking your food, start understanding, nutritional densities and portion sizes and everything else. 80-20 is a really good, fantastic, simple rule to follow. 80% whole foods and 20% kind of, the good stuff. So 80% your veggies, your rice, your chicken, your whole foods, and just, food that's actual, like real food. And then 20%, all the fun stuff. So that's like processed, that's fast food, that's the sweet treats. But keep it balanced. It's not about, proving to everyone that you are on this wholesome, healthy diet and that you're better than everyone. It's more so just feeling for success, figuring out what works for you for nutrition on top of figuring out what works for you for your workouts. So those are the 3 steps, right? And I just want to note, you only get one chance at capitalizing on your newbie gains, right? The picture on the left is basically my transformation for my newbie gains. So this was about, I would say, a year or 2 in the gym. You can obviously see a substantial amount of gains, like just from the first physique and, just the muscle structure and the maturity within my body. The picture on the right is the most updated physique photo I have. And you can kind of tell, like, yeah, there's definitely progress and results from that, but the jump from the second photo to the third photo is not as big as the jump from the first photo to the second photo. So that's why I put these as a side-by-side comparison, because I really want to stress the importance of being able to capitalize on that first year or 2 of lifting to really, really get the most out of the newbie gains and really get the most out of the phase where your body responds the most to these protocols that you're putting in place. So lift heavy, keep it simple, feel for success, eat your protein, making sure that you're capitalizing, making the most out of your newbie gains, and we'll catch you guys in the next training.